Hey, I'm Brian from BrianKeaneFitness.com, qualified personal trainer and nutritionist. Here are 8 things that fuck up your fat loss. If you've ever been on a fat loss journey, there are countless things that can set you back. But over my 10 years of working in the fitness industry, here are the 8 most common ones that fuck up your fat loss. 1, not resistance training. One of the biggest misconceptions, albeit something that can be quite supportive within reason, is that you need to do cardio to lose body fat. And technically, cardio can support fat loss. Cardio burns calories, and burning more calories can support a calorie deficit, which can support fat loss. But don't negate resistance training. How resistance training works when it comes to fat loss is it increases your metabolic rate, which means that you burn more calories while you rest. So although you might do an hour of running or an hour on the cross trainer and burn 400, 500, 600 calories potentially, and that can support your calorie deficit, that's all you're going to burn during that time. If you went into the gym for the same amount of time doing a resistance or a training program, you might only burn 300 calories or so, but you continue burning more calories for the next 48 to 72 hours. Your metabolic rate, your metabolism has to go up in order to repair from a resistance workout. And we'll come back to this later, but when it comes to fat loss, you don't want to overdo your cardio at the expense of resistance training because you're missing a massive bang for your buck. If you want to burn calories while you're watching TV, do resistance training. If you want to burn calories while you're reading a book, do your strength training. Increase your metabolic rate. That allows you to burn more calories throughout the day. And then combine that with cardio potentially, but don't let it come at the expense of it. Number 2, not measuring progress or tracking the wrong progress. Weight loss and fat loss are 2 different things. Weight loss is reducing the numbers on a scale. If you step on the scale today at 60 kilograms and you step on the scale in 6 weeks and it's gone up to 65 kilograms, you've increased your weight by 5 kilograms. That doesn't mean your body fat has necessarily gone up, but the numbers on the scale has. That's weight increase. Or if you go to 55 kilograms, that's weight loss. It doesn't say how you look, that doesn't determine how you feel, but the number will be lower or higher based on your goal. Fat loss is something completely different. Fat loss is reducing the amount of fat in your body. You can track this by things like body fat calipers, measuring tapes, or even photos. So don't confuse the 2 when it comes to measuring progress. One of the biggest mistakes people make when it comes to tracking their progress is tracking the wrong thing. So if you're on a fat loss journey, make sure that you're tracking it, but also make sure you're tracking it the right way. Number 3, drinking liquid calories. This is actually a very easy diet hack. Drink less liquid calories if you're trying to save your calories for a fat loss goal. A normal can of soda is going to have about 140 calories, and they're called empty calories, which basically means there's no nutrients in it, but there's a lot of calories. By switching to a diet alternative, instantly you're going to save on 140 calories on that can. And of course, a debate that lingers amongst a lot of fitness professionals, should you have a diet drink or just drink the full sugar alternative? That depends on the person. If you're on a fat loss goal, you're probably going to be better supported with the diet alternative, or better yet, just switch to water. But that may not be feasible for everybody if you're looking for something that's a bit more tasty than water. People who should minimize their consumption of diet drinks are anybody with a pre-existing gut microbiome issue. You have a sensitive stomach, leaky gut, IBS, or just a history of gut microbiome issues, you might want to minimize the amount of diet drinks that you're consuming. And that's sweeteners in general. But again, context is key. It depends on the person. It's not a one-size-fits-all answer. Fat loss is your goal, save on the calories. Number 4, untracked bitefuls of food. Now, hands up if you've ever done this. You're tracking calories and you grab some food off your kid's plate or off your partner's plate and you didn't track those calories. We all do it, but everything you consume counts. And I'm a live and let live kind of nutritionist. If you want to eat as much food as you want and don't track anything, cool, go do that. But if fat loss is your goal, it's probably useful to track your calories to have some idea on how much you're consuming each day. The food on your kid's plate that you take, the food off your partner's plate, or food that you get from the moon. It doesn't matter. If you're counting calories, you need to track everything. And you'd be surprised how fast those calories add up. And if you're not hitting your fat loss goal, that can be the reason why. Number 5, not being patient. Fat loss takes time. Not as much time as you think, but it still takes time. Your starting point is going to determine how fast you progress. If you've been yo-yo dieting for the last 5 years, you're not going to jump on a nutritional plan and instantly lose a load of body fat. You're just not. Especially if you've done any metabolic damage from that type of dieting. You're going to have to let that metabolism repair, hopefully working with a coach and trainer who can do that, and then bring your calories back down so that you can reduce your body fat. But you have to be patient. On the flip side, if you're someone that's never followed a plan before or never made a conscious food choice, you're going to lose body fat very quickly, especially if you're overweight or obese to begin with. Your starting point determines your progress speed. Someone coming from 0 to 1 who's never followed a plan with 100 pounds to lose is going to see faster progress compared to somebody who's been dieting on and off for the last 5 years. It's common sense, but sometimes we forget it when it comes to our own bodies and nutrition. Point number 6, overdoing cardio. As I mentioned at the top of the video, cardio is an amazing tool in your arsenal when it comes to losing body fat. Cardio helps you burn calories, and burning more calories can support a calorie deficit, the only single thing you need to do in order to lose body fat. But you can overdo it. And this normally knocks you back in two ways. One, it's coming at the expense of the resistance training I mentioned earlier. You're spending hours doing cardio when you should be splitting your time between resistance training and cardio. But also, doing too much cardio can increase your levels of cortisol, your stress hormone, and that can inhibit fat loss. Think about marathon runners who have a belly. This is normally down to their training method combined with their nutrition and an excess of cortisol from that type of training for that endurance event. Excess cortisol means it's harder to lose body fat. So if you're a marathon runner who's struggling to lose your gut or lose your belly fat, that can be down to your dietary choices, your lifestyle choices, and not having a counter stress protocol that's going to remove that excess cortisol from your body. Things like acute stressors, cold exposure, heat exposure, HIIT workouts, etc. So don't overdo your cardio, especially at the expense of your resistance training. Or if you're an endurance athlete, keep in mind that that could be the thing you're struggling with, and that's why you can't get your belly fat down. Number 7, calories from condiments. This is a really short one, but one that catches a lot of people off guard. Condiments have quite a lot of calories. That's not saying to avoid them completely, but be aware of their calorie content. Olive oil, coconut oil, two amazing sources of fats to cook with, but have about 120 calories, 130 calories per tablespoonful. That adds up quite quickly. Other things like salad dressing could have 400, 500, 600 calories per serving. So although you think you're making a really healthy choice with your Caesar salad at lunchtime, your calories from the sauces might be 500 or 600. Catches a lot of people off guard, so be mindful of the calories from condiments. Finally, number 8, not increasing general activity levels. One of the biggest underestimated tools in your arsenal for fat loss is your NEAT activity levels, your non-exercise activity thermogenesis. This is your daily walking, your fidgeting, your moving around each day. If weight loss is your goal, it's a calories in, calories out game for the most part. True, there's going to be some people with hormonal disruptions and other pre-existing issues that it's not going to be as straightforward for them, i.e. if you've got a thyroid issue. But for 99 out of 100 people, it's calories in, calories out. When it comes to increasing your general activity throughout the day, there's a few things you can do to add in that will support that. Parking further away at stores and walking more. Trying to hit your 10,000 a day step count. Using a standing desk versus a sitting desk. If you're working at an office, getting up every 15 or 20 minutes to do a walk around. All of these things impact the amount of calories you burn. And you need to factor that into your plan. If you're someone that moves a lot throughout the day, you're going to be burning more calories than somebody who's sitting in an office for 8 hours. So if you need to incorporate those tips and tricks, try them. Because a lot of people think that their activity levels are higher when in fact they're actually not moving anywhere near as much as they think. And your body will be the guide. If your body fat's coming down, you're probably moving enough. If it's stagnant or going up, you're probably not moving or working out as hard as you think. There you have it, 8 things that completely ruin your fat loss goals. So let me know your thoughts. Which one of these 8 has been the one that's held you back on your fat loss journey? And as always, if you enjoyed what you saw, be sure to hit that like and subscribe button for videos coming each and every week.